Hello and welcome to tonight's Pin TV Live, your grassroots mountain bike channel. And we are here we have Stuart Hughes there, we have Doc in the corner as usual, myself, Jim, and tonight's special guest, Madison Saracen rider, Marc Beaumont.
Good evening.
How you doing, Marc?
Nice to see you, boys.
Thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to have a local man on as well.
You're a man now.
I know.
That's your old teammate as well, isn't it? Man on.
My old teammate, yeah, man on.
Yeah. So you alright?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Happy to be here?
Yeah, good. It's not far, is it? 10 minutes down the road.
So before we get stuck into this interview, or chat should we say, I just want to say that tonight's main topic, if you want to get any questions or any of your thoughts ready, is all about your choosing your races for this year, whether you're going to go with a series or whether you're going to just dip into the best races and how you're going to choose that. So just have a think about that and tell us what you think.
I think it'd be quite a good idea at this point to actually tell everybody that your finger's not going to come off and just tell them briefly what happened, because otherwise I know what's going to happen. Doc's going to end up with a million messages saying, what's happened to your finger?
Let's just say it was a DIY accident and we'll leave it at that. I got it trapped under Stu's wallet actually, and yeah, it was a squashing injury and
Did it burst?
It would do under your wallet, but I nearly lost the end of my finger, but it's alright now, sort of.
So now we've cleared that up.
Yeah,
don't comment or ring in.
Leave
don't worry
there.
about him, he's alright. So
early days, isn't it? That's always the first question. How did you get into it? How did you get into riding? What brought you into this world of riding?
I guess, grew up in Craven Arms.
Yeah.
There's a couple of mates around the place that were riding bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And basically ended up buying one of them bikes, second-hand, cheap bike, got out, completely basic, like nothing like what we have today for trail bikes, for example. So I had a hardtail, V-brakes, and then slowly sort of, made it a little bit better, bought some suspension forks, and then I started going to the races, and just kind of snowballed from there. Had a year on the hardtail, and then I was like, Dad, we need a full suspension, we've got to have a full suspension.
I remember that. I remember he bought you that, didn't he? And he said you'll grab into it.
Yeah.
So we're talking
massive.
Marc's dad is Brian, or as we call him, Brio. So this, I think, should lead on to the name Slugger and where you got the name Slugger from. I think that we need a bit of credit there.
Well, I reckon it came from the Cheethams.
Oh, I'm not having that. I'm not having the Cheethams taking the glory.
I'm remaining impartial. I don't want to rag.
So, Johnny and Billy were calling Dad Bry Slug.
Yeah.
Because of his massive moustache that he was
I'm sure they got that from us.
Very close to for a long time. And then it started being Marc Slug and then Slugger.
Ah, right. Well, see, all I remember is back in the day that me and Stu used to call him, we called him Muck Slug, didn't we?
Yeah,
Muck Slug. I'm sure the Cheethams would have got that off us.
Yeah.
We'd have been there first, definitely.
They're far more important than they are anyway.
Yeah, so right.
Anyway, he lost that one.
So your dad helped you out and he got you going. And what sort of age did you think, hang on, I could be alright at this?
Well, to be honest, at first, Dad's massive football fan.
Yeah.
He played Sunday football, whatever, football family, really.
Yeah.
So I was playing football, and then I was like, Dad, I'm over this. I don't like it. I want to ride my bike. And then I went to a race with my friend Ed. Went to a race, and then I came back and I was like, look at the results. And I had to ride above. I can't remember how old I was, like 12 or something. But I had to ride in under 18 or something.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have nurture like kids like they do now. So I came back, I think I got like 8th or 9th, and he's like, oh bloody hell. He was a bit more interested then, and then I went to another one and I did okay. And then I almost had to kind of prove to him.
Yeah.
And then once we got a full suspension, we got a giant ATX 990.
Yeah.
And I used to read the magazines, and Team Animal had them ages ago. And so I was like, got one of them, and I was like, pleased with it. And then Dad's like, right, we need some experience. So we kind of really got into it then. So we did the Midland series, we did the Scottish, we did the Southern, we went all over just trying to ride completely different terrain, or as much terrain as I could, to gain experience. So that's what I ended up doing.
So you did a lot of time at Jackdaw Rocks, didn't you? That was it.
Yeah.
We built that. So did you have any early sort of influential riders, you know, when you started out?
You know what he's asking here, don't you? Name check.
I spent a lot of time riding with Stu when I was a young lad. Yeah, I guess you were. I guess, you know, there was a lot of local people who were
Crumpy as well.
who were quite
Yeah.
who were way better than me and like way ahead of where I was. Yeah, there was Crumpy, yourself, Rich Barlow, Donny.
Farmer.
Bit wild, wasn't he? Farmer?
Yeah, he was a bit wild.
He was good to watch when he was on, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Jim Buchanan.
No.
No. No.
Sorry, Jim.
No.
So there was all these people that and then even my friend like Russ, who
Mm.
was digging that trail at Jackdaw Rocks.
Mm.
He was way better than me, but in my local town. So
Mhm.
we'd ride sort of every day or whenever we could, and I'd be like, oh, I couldn't do that jump or whatever, and he'd do it.
He was quite good, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was far better than
Yeah.
he ever realised he was.
Yeah. That was some funny times up there, wasn't it? Remember Sean
Yeah, he was nuts,
chucking his
wasn't
bike?
he? Yeah.
Russ's bike, he did something. Cone of stab went flying. Remember Ball Sean?
Oh, yeah, he's
I
a
remember
nutter.
just like thinking, hey, what's going to happen here then? But
You have to look the other way.
that was a good place to ride, wasn't it? I mean, that was
I
proper
came up a
technical,
few times with you, didn't I?
really technical
Yeah.
riding. So you'd probably be about 13 at that point, wouldn't you?
I wasn't very old.
No, so when you got to 13 and a half is when you probably started beating me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So that's over. You know, my day is done. But yeah, I mean, you had you know, you moved on quite quickly because I remember riding with you Euro Champs 2001. Remember?
Yeah.
And it was kind of you and G were head to head.
Lavinia.
Lavinia, yeah.
Did I came to that one with you?
Yeah, yeah,
I
it was brilliant.
remember
That was
You're-
my first race in Europe. That was.
Yeah.
Well,
And that was
first.
well, you probably raced World Cups there since, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'd imagine. I've
Yeah.
only ever been there the
I
once.
broke
but-
my foot there
Right.
in 2004.
Maybe forget about
I remember
that.
the bowling alley getting broken as well by all the Irish lads.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't mention any names,
No,
Joe Wood.
better not.
Sorry. But yeah, that was a great trip, wasn't it? And you know, it was kind of really then that you started to get quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After that, you know,
Yeah, I
that
think-
sort of year.
I don't know. I guess I've always had someone to chase. Do you know what I mean? So I've perhaps never absolutely dominated anything. There's always been someone who's been, you know, a bit better. So I've always had something to get my teeth into. And like, right, I got.
But
to
everybody's got somebody like that who they
Yeah.
can, you know, look up to.
But when
to-
I was younger, I didn't just win like as a youth or as a
No.
junior. There was always someone who'd
Mm.
beat me, or the year ahead who was like quite a bit better, and I'd have to work and like try and chip away, which I guess is quite a good thing really because it kept me hungry.
yeah, totally, yeah.
Well, did you used to compete a fair bit with Bickley? Was he sort of along your level
probably a
in
bit
the
older, isn't he?
earlier days, or
Bickley's
was he a bit older?
Bickley was a bit older. I
Yeah.
remember him riding that massive helmet.
Yeah, on the homemade
Saw
bike
me,
as well,
saw
wasn't it?
me.
Yeah,
Helmet, wasn't it?
yeah. M&Ms.
What about those flared trousers he had? Remember
Yeah.
those massive flare?
I had some of them.
What make were they?
SoCal.
SoCal, that's it.
Climb on bikes.
He
So
must
your
have been like
first
rad dude.
big sort of signing was Royal, wasn't it? And Petey and
Well, I rode for Climb on Bikes for a year,
yeah,
and then the year after I went and met Steve. I
Yeah.
remember like getting a phone call, and
how did that feel?
I was real nervous because
Yeah.
I'd only seen him ride. I'd never spoken to him, and then their offices were just over in Bridge North, so it wasn't far. And Dad and I went over for the afternoon, and we met him, and I was all nervous.
Yeah,
So it's quite weird, you know, you're meeting someone who you've sort of
like a hero.
yeah, kind of, yeah. And then that winter I went to California with him for a couple of weeks. So I got on the plane with my compact disc player,
Yeah,
15.
yeah.
Flew to California, and he met me and stayed there for 2 weeks. And I met loads of people then. I met the Houseman brothers, Eric Carter.
lot of
Loads
Americans.
of them down the dirt jumps.
Was
and
this
stuff
with
like
Donny
Lopes.
as well? Was Donny?
No, it was just
Lopes,
right,
I
yeah.
imagine, yeah.
that. Yeah, I think he was
So
there.
who
one
was
day.
it? I mean, I don't know how many people know this, but you're also known as Junior as well, aren't you? Probably not many people call you that anymore, do they?
No,
Probably
no.
just me.
Yeah,
Was it Lopes that called you that?
yeah,
Is that a
yeah.
good
Lope,
nickname?
I
Yeah,
think Lopes
that's it.
did, and then the Housemans used to call me Small Fry. I think they took me for fast food or
Well,
something.
you guess
Saw him getting out of the shower.
Leave it at that one. Oh, good. So you spent a good time there, and Petey obviously took you.
It was quite cool because I'd met Steve, and it was like a massive thing. But then I met him and realised that he was just like normal guy, like super friendly, and
Down to earth.
and then I was meeting all these other people that were like, world champions and multi-time national champions and all this, and it was like, well, they're actually
They're all normal
Just
people.
normal blokes, aren't they?
But then as a little lad, you put them on this massive pedestal, which they are amazing in their own right, but they're still normal people at heart.
Yeah.
So it was quite cool to come back and be like, oh yeah, I was hanging out with these. Whatever.
So how long were you on Royal for then?
4 years.
Wow, it was a stint, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I went from my last year in youth through junior, and then a year or 2 years in elite.
Yeah.
A year in elite. So
He'll
one
get
in
there in a minute. He's
one
had
in
a few
youth,
times.
2 in junior, and 1 in elite. So I did my first world championship elite with them.
Yeah.
And at what point because you then you started the shop with Crumpy in Craven Arms. At what point in your sort of racing career did that come along?
Now you're asking.
Tough question.
It is a tough question. I don't really remember.
Was it sort of in the middle of it all?
It was while I was junior.
Yeah.
So I think I was racing, and then by that time I'd gone to college. I did 6 months, and then I'd had to curb some of the subjects because I just wasn't doing the work.
Yeah.
And then I did 2 exams of maybe 3 subjects, passed them, and then the summer sort of started. So I went away travelling, and I remember for the next year I went back again to enrol, and the bloke said to me, I was in my queue, and Dad's like, "I'll go and enrol for college. You may as well just keep going on that." So I went in, and he went, "Mark," and I went, "Hey, hello," and he goes, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "I want to enrol," and he's like, "Do me a favour, stop wasting your time, and more importantly, stop wasting my time. I won't let you enrol." So then I had to go home and be like, "I can't go to college, Dad."
Yeah.
They won't let me go because I had too much time off.
Yeah.
So then I think that's how the shop come around, and then that would have been like a sort of a back burner idea had I not become pro. And and then that run for a few years while I was but I was dipping in and out, and Pete was running it. So.
And what year was it that the invite came along from Atherton Racing and?
A long time after that.
Yeah.
So in between that, it was so I turned pro officially on a salary in 2005, and then that was till 2008, and then I signed with GT in 2009, and was on GT Factory till 2011, and then 2012 was GT Factory Racing with the Athertons, and that was 12 to 14. Am I getting ahead of myself now?
No.
And then, sounds about right.
Well,
carry on.
That's right, that is.
What would you say amongst that time was your best and most memorable sort of result in the World Cup? Is it the same, your best and your most memorable?
I suppose winning a World Cup must be fairly well up there.
It's kind of weird though, because I won one in 2007.
Yeah.
And then I didn't win again until 2010.
Yeah.
But then in between that, there's a lot of things that I think everybody will come to me, oh, that day in Val d'Isole, you were amazing, and I was like, yeah, I was really, really good. But then there's other days which I think I was better. Yeah. But the weather didn't go my way or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Champery Worlds in 2011. I decided to ride flat pedals, which was massive for me. I was in June, I was I'm going to ride flats there because the course will suit it. But I had to teach myself because I can't ride flats. I can't ride flats on a downhill bike. It's
if you're not a flats rider, you have to learn.
I struggle. I can't do it.
It takes time, doesn't it? So I taught myself to do it, and I got 6th that year. And I was like, I didn't really like the track. I had to kind of forced myself to do it. So I was quite proud of that. Obviously, my wins are just, no one can ever take those away from you. So there's lots of highs that are like, I qualified fastest at Fort William in 2012.
Yeah.
That was my second race with Dan Brown and the team, so that was a high for me.
Mm-hmm.
The finals never sort of come through to anything, but
Every rider's a high to Dan Brown, though, aren't they?
Well, I suppose,
Looking
much
up at
higher.
him.
But you had a good year in 14, didn't you?
yeah.
You won the British Downhill Series.
Yeah, I won the British Series. That was good.
And you were riding really good then, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in like putting a lot of effort in, and sort of internationally, perhaps it wasn't coming quite there, but I think I was like 15th or 16th overall, so it's not
Which is
really to
still
be
good.
snubbed at.
Yeah.
British champion. So I don't know. It's hard, There's such small margins between the riders.
It's such a
these days.
difficult sport. I mean, it's easy. I mean, look at Greg for argument's sake. It's so easy to write a rider off and say, well, he hasn't won a race for a year or whatever. And you get somebody like Greg Minnaar, who comes back 2 years, maybe he might have had not the best time. World champion, winning World Cups again.
Look what he did at Fort William.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of them sports that every effort has to go into that run to get the result, because there's so many good riders now.
And I think it's okay if we go to a track and I set a time, and then you can look at that time and say, okay, right, well there's nothing around it. You're just there on a Saturday or a Sunday and you're doing times. But then when you have to do it, and you have to do it in that moment, and you've got to make those decisions to be like, do I let go of my brakes? Do I, and the pressure in your head to what you think you can achieve. Yeah. But actually processing that is.
Oh, I mean, and you do have to process it really, really quickly. I mean, sometimes when you're having a run, I mean, the mind is just like flat out. You couldn't think, I'm going to do that. You just react, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But I mean.
But that's the beauty of it as well. That's why.
That's the buzz of the sport. But some days you'll be the boy, and other days you won't. It's as simple as that. But that's what makes our sport so good.
So when you were riding with GT and the Athertons, because you were the first signing who wasn't one of them. Yeah. How was that? Was it always good? Was there times when you felt a bit like disconnected, like you weren't part of the family?
Well, I'm not part of the family.
Yeah, I know, but did it feel like that sometimes? Did you feel a bit away from it all?
Not at all. A lot of people said, "Oh, well, you won't be this, or you won't get to do this," and I got to do everything. Anything that they did, training camps, be it a fitness camp or a riding camp I was involved in. I was riding in North Wales on a Wednesday or whatever. I know that they were going to ride. If I wanted to ride, I wanted to test. That was all available. Everything was there for me to be my best. Yes, I guess there were certain things with Red Bull commitments that were obviously not involving me because I'm not an athlete or an ambassador. Yeah. But that's understandable.
It was like that in many teams, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really good. I had a really good time.
Brilliant.
Like hanging out with Affy. He was doing enduro, but we'd sort of get along real well, and G and Dan are quite different. Yeah. To be around, and for different reasons, they're both really cool.
The enduro thing, actually, this interests me. When we a couple of years, was it 3 years back that you did that Pierce enduro at Hopton, and you were on that 100mm travel XC bike, the GT, weren't you? Which was not suited for enduro at all, and you absolutely smoked everyone. And that was when lots of people sort of said, hang on a minute, this bloke should be doing enduro. And I thought, when you did your comeback now, I thought, I wonder if he's going to go into enduro. Yeah. But have you thought about that, or is it just not something that's come into your head?
I absolutely buzz off riding my trail bike. Yeah. And a lot of people have come up to me and said, "Oh, you should do it, mate. You should. Yeah. You'd be really good at it." And I do enjoy it like this. I've done that one at Eastridge, that little mini enduro that Chris Roberts put on. Yeah. It was good fun. There's some fast people locally. It wasn't easy to win it. And then that Hopton one, well, Hopton's on my doorstep. Yeah. I would like to think I could give anyone a run. Yeah. Down there. I don't know. I want to. Daniel's like got so many unanswered things for me, and it's, you know, the reason I came back was for that reason.
Yeah.
Because if I have a career that's like this, and you can say, oh yeah, well that was amazing, these are all your highlights. There's no point in coming back if you don't think you can beat or better that.
Yeah.
If I can't, if in my head
improve, can't you?
if in my head I can't achieve these amazing things, then I wouldn't have come back.
Well, there you go.
Well, at this point,
are you going to dock?
At this point, yes, I'm going to dock because it is 7:51, and we are 1 minute past our crash video of the week. We'll come back to your interview in a second. We have a very good video to show you, sent in by Vinnie Crichton-Poley.
Here we go, guys.
Check this out. This is at a secret location. We're not going to say where this is, but what it is, that man has new pants. Look at that beast. That's a massive road gap gone wrong.
Does anyone know whether he walked away?
Yeah, he got up.
Still
He was
alive.
fine.
And he actually jumped it 20 minutes later and landed it.
Yeah.
Did he?
So,
Which is lucky, really. He must have landed then, didn't he?
Vinny is going to send in his details to us, Pin TV, with his email and his size.
Small.
And size small. And that man needs some new pants. And as you may not know yet, the Crash of the Week is sponsored by Saks Pants.
My God, he's lucky.
Yeah, so he'll be getting his pants sent to him, won't he?
Yeah.
I hope they're lucky pants.
Yeah, he
Doc.
needs them after that.
Just while we're on, and we've got a little split in the interview, have you got any questions or comments coming in? Because I'm sure people want to ask Mark a few things.
Robert Butcher says he misses your chicken suit. Don't know what that's all about. Robert Butcher.
You been out in town with him? Moving on.
Chicken suit.
You'll be worried now. You'll be wondering what that's all about.
Daniel MR, do you miss presenting on GMBN?
Yeah, I do actually. It's massively different to being a pro again, but in a way there are some. It is a job, like you guys know. You're doing this. It's quite an intense environment.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do, to be behind camera and try and be.
I'd always say it'd be harder what you were doing there because it was all scripted, wasn't it? And
yeah, we wrote everything.
I can't do scripted. We can't do it's. Well, we tried it. I did a vlog last week that was about a bike show, and I had to talk over because we got the sound wrong.
Yeah.
And I had to talk over a few bits. And oh God, I hear it back now. It makes me cringe. It's difficult.
But what they have is amazing. Like what they're doing is amazing. I did a year, or pretty much a year, and it was big then, and then now it's just snowballed.
Yeah, it's massive now.
Yeah, and they do an amazing job. So I do kind of miss it, and the group of people that are all behind that. It's not just Neil and Scott and Blake, like Martin as well. There's the team behind. They're all awesome people, and they really work hard. So
Excellent.
Anything else, Doc?
Yeah, we got a few here. This is off Anthony Webb. What does Mark consider his biggest weakness in downhill racing?
Biggest weakness?
Have you got any weaknesses?
I'm my own worst enemy.
You're your own worst enemy.
Yeah. When I'm riding really well, then if I put down what I think I can in my head, then on my day I can compete with most people. But I can easily talk myself out of it, or I'll have a crash, and it'll so I say mental weakness is the hardest thing that I really. I think about it a lot. I'm not someone who's just like, oh yeah, just hang on and go. It's a process. So I think I'm my own worst enemy.
Excellent. Do you want to come back to some more later, or shall I keep going?
Go a couple more.
A couple.
This is off Will Longdon. What's your longest wheelie?
Who's he?
Will Longdon.
Heard the name.
I've heard the name. Yeah, it rings a bell.
Longest wheelie.
Yeah.
Well, I used to practice in Harry Tuffin, and I think 18 car park spaces is the one from the one end to the other end.
Whoa, we are talking serious pro here.
I spent hours.
And then this is off Duffers. How much does a bike play in winning? All the bikes are so highly spec'd and developed these days. Could the rider win the World Cup on any bike, or do different bikes suit different?
Good question.
Very good question. I think I think it's changed a lot. I think the way the courses have got, I'm going to say easier, which might be slightly controversial. The bike now does play a difference because you're looking for suspension is massive now.
Mhm.
So you need to make intricate changes throughout a weekend to keep that bike, doing what you want it to do, be it grip, be it, people are even tuning the bike now to carry more momentum. So they're riding it excessively hard, like Gwyn, for example. And that's just purely so it's faster and he's just strong enough to hang on to it. And, in 2010, 2007, 2005, when I got on a podium in 2005, it went up and down, and it was from the time I set off to the time I finished, that bike was a different bike. Like there was no rebound left, and you were just it got really hot, so you were losing rebound, and you didn't have compression damping and all this sort of stuff, and it was rider skill.
Yeah.
You just rode around problems.
A lot of the tracks now, certainly the World Cup tracks, do seem to have a lot of man-made features in them, don't they?
They've gone very bike parky, haven't they? Really.
Yeah, and
it
I
just
can
seems to be
understand.
quite a big deal carrying speed.
Massive,
that seems to be
massive.
like the main thing, really.
Yeah.
Rather than, like you say, technical maybe.
Yeah, you can choose a tyre to be lighter, so you kind of nurse it, say 85%, and then it's really good for that rolling section at Leogang, for example.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So it's I don't really agree with the kind of the direction that the tracks are going, but at the same time, these resorts that we are going to have a lot of money and they're prepared to invest, so that's why we're there.
Yeah. And then if we finish off with this one, Andy Woodall saying Shropshire's behind you, Mark.
Oh, that's
So
good to
it's
know.
really cool to know,
Always
isn't it?
are.
So,
Good
yeah.
to know.
And then I've got loads more for later.
So, going back to you're at the Athertons, that's coming to an end.
Yeah.
Then you went over, you stopped and you went on to GMBN. What was all that about? How did that come about? Had you had enough?
No, I hadn't. It was sort of late in the day when GT decided that there wasn't anything there for me, and then I kind of like searched around and tried to get in with certain teams, doing a lot of sort of admin work myself, trying to see if there was any spaces, and then I got to a point where I was trying to build my own deal, so I was going to separate manufacturers and trying to do it that way, and then it was just really difficult to do it, and then time was sort of slipping away. So then I fell in, started speaking to Simon, who's the guy behind GMBN, and then there was an opportunity to do something, to be in at the start as well, which was quite cool, and so I started doing that with.
When you were doing that, did it suddenly at some point did something hit you and you go, hang on a minute, I want to still be competitive at World Cups?
No, it was there the whole time.
Yeah.
It was there the whole time. I wanted to race, be it the PS Series, the Nationals. I tried to get to, I think I got to 5 races in total in 2015 on the back of no practice, no real structured training, or not to the degree that I've been training now. And it was I still buzzed off it. Do you know what I mean? Like I went to Llangollen and qualified 6th.
Yeah.
I'd had my bike for 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I crashed in the final, and I got 3rd at the last round at Antistiniog, the final round of the BDS that year. And then I did the World Cup as well, and I think I qualified 19th. And then I finished 36th or something. But I wasn't fit enough. That day, the weather had changed, and we raced. We qualified and raced on the same day, like we used to. And I just was not strong enough to do.
Knackered.
Yeah, I just knew that my arms went down after about a minute and a half, and it's a long way down there when you're tired. So I wanted to be there. I still had that desire, like I touched on before. And
true racer.
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
And we are on time.
Photo of the week then, Doc.
Photo of the week.
Who have we got this week, Doc?
This has been sent in by my brother, Johnny Ward.
He's tall, isn't he?
And you know what I like about it?
Go on.
Shadows.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of our shadows this time.
Well, we try and hide them, don't we? Because there's no sun.
Yeah, because there's no sun.
Where is that?
That's on top of the Stiper Stones. And they then went on and did...
That's not a part that I go. I always go to a real rocky bit.
Yeah. And then
That's
they've
the
got
climb
them-
up, isn't it? That's the
that's
climb
the
up to
climb
the
up.
Stipe
It's on the
Stones
climb up,
from
isn't it?
Eastridge.
You have the whole
Yeah.
of Shropshire riders now trying to work out where
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
I don't know where
I
And
don't
I
know.
just, it's just nice to see shadows because
It's
we don't see
pretty.
enough of them. I miss my shadow
Yeah.
this time of year. So that's my brother Johnny Ward. Well done, Johnny.
Nice
He
one.
doesn't take many photos.
So that is the trailhead photo of the week, isn't
Trailhead
it?
photo
Like
of the
our
week.
trailhead mugs that don't really like the green screen and are a bit see-through.
That's a bit weird.
Sorry,
isn't it?
Sandy. Didn't realise that.
Never
Won't be
mind.
long till we get the new studio. Yeah, so talking about sort of photos, I've got to say a thank you to Stu today, who was stood in for me. We've been on a Enduro Mag bike shoot today, haven't we, on the Bird Aris, and obviously I can't
You've been
ride.
taking pictures.
No, not
He's
pictures.
been riding.
I was pro rider
Yeah,
today.
pro rider today.
Pro rider.
He got plenty of good pictures. They were very clear. The speed
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
going.
I was doing the oil painting as he come past.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheers for that anyway.
No
Much
problem.
Appreciate it.
You gotta help a
And
mate
we got
out
a
who's-
we got a nice day, didn't we? Up
We
in
got a
Sus
lovely
today.
day.
Really
Seeing
nice.
as the injured party is
Yeah.
pretty injured.
I'm pretty injured. I've got all stitches in my ankle as well. Plates out last week. I've been put to sleep twice in 2 weeks now.
He still keeps waking up.
Are you
Yeah.
gonna,
And that's without drinking any alcohol.
that's going to take some
Yeah, I
coming
know.
back, thanks.
Yeah.
I can't help but there's a little bit of me. I keep looking at it and I
You're
can't
gonna
help
grab
but
it,
laugh
don't
because it's so fat.
What, 'cause it's that one? Oh dear. So I think back to the interview. We're at GMBN.
Yep.
And then did you have the call or did you approach Madison Saracen? Will Longdon? Legend?
Will Longdon's a long time friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was my manager at MBUK. Well, he was rider manager at MBUK Santa Cruz. So we had kind of a good relationship, and luckily for me, he believed in me still.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess it was a mixture of me saying, look, I want to do it, just like, please just give me a chance. And then secondly, he had enough belief in me that I could come back and do something.
That's cool.
So it was really good of him, to bring me in, and the team's been great. Like I've had an awesome year last year, especially. I think more so in the UK. I was a lot more. I was more myself in the UK than I was
Yeah.
at the World Cup. It didn't really quite come to what I wanted, but I think we're in a better place now.
So you're enjoying it again now?
Yeah.
It's fun.
I enjoyed all of last year, even though I didn't have any we didn't have any World Cup results where I was like, thankfully, like that was all I had today.
I think as a World Cup racer though, an elite racer, full time, you're always going to have seasons that you don't enjoy as much, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because you that's all you're doing, isn't it? And it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, you've got to. I don't entirely agree. Like if you don't enjoy it, then there's something wrong somewhere. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of people
You've
put
got
a
to
lot.
question whether or not you want to go on it, haven't you?
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, and you've got to realise why you do it.
Yeah.
You're not doing it because you get paid on the 25th of every month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're doing it
You've got to have
because
a love for it.
you've got to love what you're doing.
You always do something better if you enjoy doing it, won't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's got to be like something that you buzz and you feed off, and when I do something well, still, that regardless of whether somebody says, that was awesome or this was that, you don't need that. You just need to know yourself.
Yeah.
I think we need to mention Will Longdon a bit more because.
Oh, we do. Yeah, definitely.
Back in the day of downhill racing in the 90s and early 2000s, or
Yeah.
noughties as they call them,
2003.
I think he was one of the most exciting riders to watch. He was he used to
Aggressive.
ride really low, really physical, and he used to rag the bike. He was ace to watch, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Really good. And he can still ride now.
He's
still
amazing.
When he comes to race, he still
I
wins
think you'll
a lot of
find that
races.
he's current Vets national champion 2 years running.
You can't beat him, can you?
I keep crashing.
Yeah.
I've crashed at the last two.
He's
national
one of the few
champs.
vets you can't beat, isn't he? So you
Well, I
hate
keep crashing. Maybe if I don't crash, I'll have you.
it.
Yeah.
No, he's
But I
still.
wonder if he'll remember this. Cool as Larry, he manualed out of the woods.
Hey?
Well, I know what it means. You look confused. There was a picture
I
in a
don't know.
magazine, I think it was a poster actually, and Will probably confirm this if he's watching. Was it maybe Kirchgarten Wills? And I remember seeing the caption and him doing a manual,
Yeah.
and that was a long time ago. I think that might have been on his Rocky Mountain.
Wow.
But in the early days when I
Did he have
started,
long
it's
hair?
like he did have long hair, but I used to have long hair.
I watched it.
That was a long time ago.
I watched Roddington Trails on Sprung 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that section the other week, and I don't know why I did, but it was still cool.
It's
Yeah,
nice,
it's a
isn't
good
it?
time,
I
it's a
love
good
seeing
time.
and
that.
he's in that on his BMX.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
That's what you did a flip on that, not flip, 360, didn't you?
Yeah, just a 360.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you could do.
Yeah.
And we have to say about Saracen, back in the day, when they did their first monocoque frame,
Mhm.
who was it developing that, Stu? You, wasn't it?
Might have did it.
He was one of the first riders for Saracen, and
Yeah.
him and Paul Hinton
Yeah.
from
Yeah, mate.
New Zealand.
mate.
Don't ask him to look at
So
your
that was
dick.
before
At your dick.
Madison
Yeah,
bought it, wasn't it?
yeah,
That was a long time
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've got to mention Titley, and we did a fair bit on that, and went and messed around with a lot of linkages, and literally back in the day, I mean, this was.
He used to video it, didn't he?
It
And then
was-
we'd watch it back in
Yeah.
slow motion.
But back in the day, I mean, it wasn't mass development really, was it, on the early bikes? And we had this rocker with a piece of steel, I think it was at the time, and
Looked like
You
you'd
know.
been hit with a chisel.
not that good. And then we'd offset holes and drill, different holes and just see what it did. Really, I mean, it was definitely, guesswork as
Yeah,
well.
it was. Yeah.
But-
Things
So
have
there was
moved
no
on a bit now.
computer and leverage
Yeah.
ratios.
So
and
to be
so
fair,
on.
I don't think I could take any credit whatsoever for the bike that you're riding today, but it was fun. It was good to do a bit of development, and I had
Tell
good
you what,
times.
I tell you what is interesting is sort of before I was involved with Saracen, and if you look like when you go down to Madison now, they've got sort of what they started with when Manon won her world championship on like the junior one on the first bike, and how it's evolved into my race bike now.
Yeah.
That's quite a quick
Oh,
time
totally. With,
that they-
yeah.
evolved that into a really good bike now.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I wasn't a massive when the Saracens first come out again, shall we say, and the dyno bikes. You see them dotted around, and I was like, I'm not quite sure about that. But what you ride now is a pretty amazing bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a nice looking bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good, and I was really impressed like straight away with what they had.
So I think we need to move on to media happenings. What's been going on? Things that have been going on.
You chopped the end of your finger off.
Apart from that,
Yeah.
we have had the UK Intense Saddleback team announced. That's been all over social media.
Yeah.
Who have we got, Stu?
We've got our old friend Titley.
Andrew
Andrew
Titley. He's the team boss.
Yeah.
So,
So look out, everyone.
Good luck to all the young lads and the young girl on there when they misbehave, when they get him slapping them around.
Well,
Not
I
the
think-
girl, that is. We'll say
I
the wrong
think
thing there.
Titley's definitely going to be a massive influence
Yes.
on the younger riders.
So
some way
riders
or other,
are,
with
we
his
have
experience.
AJ Jones, our mate from South Wales, Charlie Atton.
He's my
Yeah.
age.
Yeah. Is he?
Aaron's
Aaron.
a year
then.
below me.
Yeah. He's just. He's going to be a big name in enduro, I think.
Yeah.
Big, powerful
Strong
lad.
lad. He was
Wouldn't
a
mess
strong
about
lad.
with him, would you?
Yeah, he makes me laugh.
Charlie Atton, Jess Greaves, Sam Flockard, Ollie Morris, and Joe Breeden. So
Charlie
that's
Hatton is first year in elite,
yeah,
so there'll be someone.
it's
to
a hell of a
watch out.
lineup, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a good rider.
And they've got this. Obviously, they've all got these intense tracers now, and that's like the bike last week when it was. It came out of it was shown, wasn't it? The 2017 tracer,
Mm.
£10,000. What do you think about that, Stu? £10,000 for a bike.
It's a lot of money, isn't it?
Does it scare you a bit?
It's a lot of money.
Do you know-
It is a lot. It doesn't
It
even got an
makes me
engine.
laugh because I remember Dad buying me an X Team bike when I was little from Climb on Bikes, and it was a GT Lobo,
Yeah.
and it was £1,700.
Yeah.
We bought it at the end of the year,
Oh, it's
and
mental.
then look at that now.
10 grand.
The thing that I always look at is I think, whatever they are, I mean, you can bling them up, can't you?
Yeah.
8-10 grand for a mountain bike. You can buy a brand new motocross bike for 7 grand.
Yeah.
Which I'm not
Yeah.
saying, I mean, that's not cheap, but that's got an engine.
Yeah.
You have to do some work
to
for
be,
that 10
to be
grand.
fair with the Tracer, that's as bling as you
It's
can
a nice
get.
looking bike.
Envy's on. It's got the
Yeah.
the posh SRAM gearing and
Yeah.
this, that, and everything's carbon, and I imagine it's light as it
Yeah.
comes.
Still 10 grand.
It's
though.
still 10 grand. Family saloon, isn't it? That
Yeah.
decent family saloon.
Is it a deposit on a house?
I'd imagine so.
Would be.
Maybe in
wouldn't it?
Ditherington.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Oh dear.
Congratulations to them. It looks a good team, and we'll look forward
Yeah,
to seeing.
I'm sure we'll see
results
some
come up.
hellish good results from them lot.
Yeah.
What else have we got, Stu? We've got to say happy birthday for Stu for last weekend, Saturday, wasn't it?
So-
How old are you, Stu?
How old do you think I am?
No,
Yeah.
don't put me on.
Now,
the
come
spot.
Come on, it's okay. You couldn't have.
I've got
found it.
no idea.
He did get a bus pass.
Well, I've got a number for an age, so
Wait
you
there.
have got some idea, haven't you?
You raced veteran, so you must be. You've got so you're over.
Sorry about
Over
this.
He'll be a year older by the time he gets to it.
43.
You cheeky sod. 42.
That's close.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all right. I can handle it. I know I don't look it. So we had a couple of people round, didn't we, on
Yeah,
Saturday
got
night, and
drunk.
got a bit drunk.
I was meant to take Todd for his first ride. Bickley of all people who we were on about before, he was going to take him to Landegler for me because obviously I can't ride. So we got him all sorted and got the bike in the back, drove over to Landegler and left his kit at home. So he didn't go riding anyway. That was really good. So that was out the window. But it turned out to be icy and snowy, and I was quite glad he didn't ride in the end. A bit dangerous when it's like that. We've got to mention, we've got some people on board now with the channel who are getting involved advertising wise. So we have Bum Butter, these guys here. This is Bike Munger's Happy Bottom Bum Butter. I think you can guess what that is.
Where's that tested?
He's testing on arseholes in Westminster, he says.
Yeah, that's what I heard, yeah.
So-
By all accounts, you can put it on your lips and it's good for chapping in all different
yeah,
areas.
just
so-
don't double dip.
Right.
And we got the Trailhead Bicycle Company. We have a V-Tyre and Mudhugger. So these guys have all sort of jumped on board and they're getting involved with us, and we look
Thank you
forward
very
to
much.
a good future with them, really. Other things, live show coming to you. This is something we want to talk to you guys about. After we went to the Core Bike Show, and our live show was a great success there, and we really did wing it. We didn't know what it was going to be like. Basically, we would like to go somewhere else and do it. It's got to be on a Monday night, and you've got to have very good internet, and it's not really your download, it's your upload. What's the upload got to be, Doc?
I'm looking at a minimum upload of sort of 4K.
Yeah.
So most home broadband is about 1.8 to give you an idea.
Yeah.
So we need a minimum of 4, ideally around about the 6 mark or higher.
So if anyone has any ideas, maybe in a bike shop, maybe in, I don't know, Village Hall, anywhere really, where you can get us in there, get some good guests.
There's a pub. That'll
Even
work.
like with an audience, it'd be pretty cool with an
Oh,
audience,
good.
you know, anything like that. Anyone has any ideas like that, we'd love to do it on tour. You just need that upload. All you need to do is
You'd be like Max and Paddy road
Yeah.
to nowhere.
well, wouldn't it? We get on them dodgy old campers.
Product of the week.
Yeah, product of the
Right.
week. Product of the week. What have we got here? Okay, here we go. These are Vel silicone grips. Now, silicone grips are originally they come from cross country. People didn't use them in anything else, but there is a reason for these. They feel pretty weird, aren't they? Apparently, they really reduce hand pump because the silicone it acts like a suspension.
Not to be used in the wet.
What? No, it doesn't say that. Thought, yeah.
Imagine how slippy they're going to be.
Well, apparently they're not. I tell you who I spoke to who uses these. James Richards, Tracy's fella.
Alright.
He reckons they're amazing. And they're not lock on, you just put them on and they don't move.
We'll have to test some of
So
them. then.
these are...
Certainly enough
where
rain
are
about at the
they?
moment.
These are the 36mm and they do 32mm, really narrow ones, which I put on Todd's bike for him.
How much are they?
These are $19.95. Vel grips, there you go, product of the week.
Very good. You did mention earlier that the topic of the week was actually going to be choosing your races
Yeah.
and we kind of haven't
It's
covered
got a
that,
bit
really.
swallowed up on it. Well, anyone
Is that the
says
way to
anything.
go? Is it choose your races?
Well, that's the thing, you see. Since we lost the British Enduro Series,
Yeah.
there's like no main thing for. This is more Enduro, actually, to be honest. It's like, what do people do? Do they do a full series, or do they just pick and choose all the best races?
I heard that hard rock thing's good.
It's
That's
amazing.
it. Yeah, we did that last year. It's
You
really
love
good.
that.
Sold
That is-
out in about 3 minutes
Yeah.
to 7,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
It is
that.
really good. It's a
I
big
heard
day,
that.
but it's brilliant.
Cy Payton's bringing the what's it called back again?
Maybe the Malverns.
Maybe the Malvern Classic. How
Really?
cool will that be?
I never raced them all.
Want to hear how much they want for the weekend for that field? You wouldn't
We
believe
better
it.
not disclose.
No,
that.
we won't say it, but it's a bit.
More than a
Yeah.
tenner, I imagine.
Yeah.
Doc, I guess you probably got some questions and comments of people
we
wanting
have
to.
got a few. So let's have a look at the one I wanted to start with. Robert Butcher said the chicken suits from GMBN when you were jumping. Apparently.
Oh yeah. I don't think that video went fully out.
Obviously did.
No, it didn't. They only put like little snips out of it. It was about like choosing whether you ride the chicken line or you ride the main line. But I did it dressed in a chicken suit.
I bet you loved that, didn't you?
It was quite funny.
Duffers wants to know: are they fish, skeletons, or flowers on your jumper?
This is my new
I like it.
animal.
I like it.
My new animal order. So
Goes with them grips, those gloves you were wearing today, Stu.
Yeah,
doesn't
very
it?
pretty.
they're leaves, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Nice,
quite
that.
cool. It's a bit different.
Will Longdon, 1995 world champs. The answer to your question.
I thought it might
He'd
have been.
broken his arm and had his hand taped to the bars.
What a machine.
Talking of questions, we've got a prize here.
Oh, yeah.
This is, not yet, but soon will be, signed Marc Beaumont, Madison Saracen Race Top. But the coolest thing is, the winner of this can have it signed to them in their name, so it's 100% genuine.
Has it got any holes in it?
You got any holes in it? Have you used it?
Yeah, I think
It's pretty clean.
I got good washes there.
Yeah. So, what question do you want to give them, Mark, to win
Give me a
that?
question.
Right. So the question is, how many times have I been elite national champion?
Go.
So go. How many times has Mark been elite
It's
national champion?
That many, innit?
Yeah.
Doc, it's that many.
Right,
So
okay.
as soon
While
as you
we're
say
waiting for
that-
something to come in, I think we may as well mention future guests.
Future guest, yes. Next week we have Katie Curd. She'll be coming in, and I have also asked Meg White, who we've had on before as a co-host, to come and co-host it. Haven't heard back, so get back to us, Meg. Hurry up. But well, she either does or she doesn't. But we got Katie coming on, so that'd be good. Be
Yeah.
nice to see her and see
We've
what she's got to say for herself.
Gareth Brewin.
Gareth Brewin.
Gazzy B.
Yeah, Gazzy B. He's coming on in the future. Another one trying to tie down. He's too busy washing his hair.
The Wootons.
Yeah, the Wootons are. So we got Ben Wotton, who's sort of our test rider for Pinned. His brother is one of the best enduro motorbike racers in the country now. Rides for Husqvarna. Got to get them both in together because they're both daft as a brush and they take the piss out of each
Oh,
other
right.
all the way through it.
Yeah.
So that's what we want, really. Oh, and there's somebody else, wasn't there? Who was. They messaged you yesterday. I recognised the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, he did.
He messaged Stu and said, "Look, what's this show of yours? I want to come on." What's his name again?
Well, I was just sitting at home the other night. I was just watching a bit of telly or something, and flipping phone goes, and it's Danny, innit? Danny Hart messaged me, says he wants to come on the show.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he didn't actually say that, but we did ask him and to see whether or not he wanted to come and have
Yeah.
a word. So hopefully we're going to be able to get Danny over and chuck a few questions at him, and I'm sure you'll want to. And that'll be really exciting to have him.
I might.
Current world champion.
I have a few questions for him.
He can come on again. Come on with
Come
him.
on, we don't mind. Anyone can come on.
That's
yeah?
the thing we do say when we got like people like you, a local guests. You're always welcome to come on. It's not a one-off thing.
It's good.
Especially when we have our special challenge, which I know you will love. Can we talk about that, Stu?
We can talk about that.
Go on then. You tell her. You tell everyone about it.
Oh, it's our little project we've been doing, and it's we can't say where. We've been building some dirt jumps. Don't want to go on about it too much because I know every week we do mention it. But it's going to have a special section in it, which is a full-on rhythm section, a couple of turns, all sort of pumpable, rollable, no gap jumps in that. And the challenge will be who can get through it the quickest.
I think it's a massive skill as well for any sort of, if you want to be a rounded rider, being able to be efficient and use the ground to generate momentum. Dirt jumping is exactly where that comes from, so that'll be awesome.
That'd be great, yeah. I mean, what we're actually going to be doing is we are probably going to do a complete day where it'll be invite only. We'll invite a load of our friends and riders and top riders to come for the day. We'll have a barbecue.
We'll make a vlog on it, nice video.
Good fun day, load of dirt jumps and do the challenges there. So
then we'll end up with a leaderboard, kind of Top Gearish. And then future guests who come on will be having a go at that leaderboard.
You'll be up for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'll be up for that.
Do we have an answer yet? Do we have a winner?
We do have a winner.
Okay.
Lots of people getting it wrong. They were all doing finger in the air jump.
Oh man, they were underdoing you.
But it was his first answer, and it's not a fix at all. Tyler Hughes.
Oh man, he's getting well chuffed. But to be fair, I mean that sounds like I might have known something, but I didn't even know how many titles you'd won.
Well, you haven't touched your phone, have you? So you can't.
Well, I haven't touched my phone. My hands have been there. So he'll be made up with that anyway.
I don't know why I'm writing it down. It's your son's name. I'm trying to write it down.
Oh, he's going to be well happy now. He started racing downhill.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he did a race and then he got third in his first race. So he's mad for it. He loves it.
Where did he race?
At Cannock Chase.
Really?
Yeah. So he loves that. I'll tell you something else as well. Well, this is quite cool. He said to his teacher, Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox is his form tutor in Shrewsbury.
Really?
At Meal. Said he taught you.
He was at Stretton, Mr. Cox.
Oh, maybe, but anyway.
He did design tech.
Yeah, that's it.
I bet he gets some stick off the older kids with that name.
Oh, I'm sure he does, yeah. But anyway, Mr. Cox asked the kids, had they got a goal for the year? And Tyler says, oh yeah, I want to do a downhill race and maybe get on the podium. And he said, well, I think you should think of something that's, a bit more of a realistic achievement. So he come home and that wasn't he wasn't very happy about that. And he said, well, actually, I taught Marc Beaumont at school. He's a World Cup racer. And Tyler said, yeah, my dad taught him to ride. So that was absolutely awesome.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. While we're on that subject, I just want to shout out my Mrs. Cassie and the kids, Todd and Purdy.
You're going to let them out from under the stairs now?
Yeah.
Do you want to say any shout outs or things? We ought to say you're daddy now, aren't you?
I am a dad. Yeah. I've got a little girl.
How old is she?
She's coming up 18 months.
What's her name?
Emmy, yeah. She'll be in bed.
She won't be watching.
I doubt it.
She'll watch it on playback.
Yeah.
Will Mrs. be watching?
She might be.
You look like you want to tell us something and there's some more questions or something coming because you had a grin on your face before.
No, I just read some of the answers. They really were guessing nice. It was quite cool. Ashley Lewis. Yes, I did enjoy freezing my ass off down in Affan yesterday. It was horrible. I was down at Affan taking pictures yesterday, and it was grim.
That was the Welsh
Gravity
Enduro, Charlie Williams.
Is that a winter series or is that their?
It's the start of their spring series.
Oh, okay.
We started it early, and we were a bit unlucky with the weather because it was a howlingly cold wind. And that horrible sort of miserly rain. I was actually getting ice on the lens and the code. That's how cold it was.
No way.
And yeah, it was kind of freezing up there, but great day. Charlie put on a great race, and
as ever,
he had 256 riders hit the hill.
Yeah.
So it was a well-supported event, and well done everyone who took part in that.
Yeah, well done. Sounded horrible.
We have another product as well. Another product to talk about. Here we go. I want to show you this. This was sent to us for Todd to use. This is a kid's full face helmet after his nasty little crash. It is I think that's really cool, especially the weight is just under 1,000 grams, but the price is, what did we say it was?
70 quid.
69.99.
That's a bargain.
How nice is that for 69.99? For a kid as well. That looks proper cool, doesn't it?
Good looking lid, that.
Just laughing because helmets that I used to race in when I was...
the old helmets.
I was sponsored by a company. I shouldn't really say because it's not professional, but remember certain full face helmets were...
I had some bad.
Go on, say it, Matt. Was it a Met? What, that Met one back in the day?
I'm not. You said that. That's awful. Wasn't
I
it?
remember I had that original Crotone,
Yeah.
and I sprayed it gold.
I
And
remember
you're not meant to spray things. And I just like sprayed it with an aerosol
that was
gold.
to match your misser, wasn't it?
Yeah, to match the Tommy Misser replica, Toner Kerner, Toner Kerner, and I had a big crash on it at one of the Dragon races.
And hit his head, as you
Hit
can
my
tell.
head and smashed it to bits. The helmet's splitting off, didn't it?
That was down that stream
Yeah.
bed, wasn't it?
And that's when I realised you're not meant to spray helmets.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
You
Anyway.
got any daft old stories from the old days? Daft crashes? Any races you think, oh God, what would I do that for? Must
I've got
have
some
some.
horrendous memories of horrible crashes.
Yeah.
I remember doing Wheels of Speed in Germany 2009, and it was for like 15,000 euros was
Wow.
first, and I was like,
Got to go for that one.
I was on a mega run, and there was like there's a field, and we'd like geared the bike up to like a 30, like a 38 from a 36, or maybe even had a 40 on. Anyway, there's a grass turns like real fast, then you pedal, and there was this double, and it was way too short, and there was like a lump in the field, and there was 2 or 3 people that get to this lump, but if you were hitting it as fast as the bike could go, it would go there easy enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hit it and like pushed through it. Bearing in mind I'm in bottom gear, as fast as the bike will go,
Yeah.
and it went.
Oh
Oh no.
I went over and I was like, "There's nothing I
They're
can
the
do about
worst.
this." And I've got a picture that came about a year after, and I'm face down, like that. My feet are off, and the bike is perfectly horizontal above me, but upside down.
Oh my God.
And I like knocked myself out end over end, and I got gravel rash from like both my shoulders all the way to my arse.
God, why?
I couldn't sleep for like a week. I was just like stuck to the
No.
sheet.
But you're still here, and that's
I'm still
important to us.
How many times you knocked yourself out? You done it a few times, or?
Well, that was the start of twice. I did it
Mm.
once that weekend, and then I did it again the next weekend.
Scary thing nowadays, isn't it? The
Yeah,
whole
it's not
concussion.
That was a long time ago, so
Mm.
touch.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I haven't, that's
yeah.
it.
Don't forget to subscribe and like our
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
channel, Pin TV.
We're doing well. We got how many subscribers now, Doc?
We're up to 654.
Wow.
And, that's,
654.
and to be honest, I haven't checked, but we've had quite a few tonight as well.
Brilliant.
Last week,
Oh, that's
so-
really
And do you communicate on your comments as well? So you'll
Yes,
get,
yeah.
If you've got questions,
We always
you get
try and
back to
talk
you.
to people,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we always try and get back to people and give them a shout out. Spread the love. Share the Facebook post out for us, please, guys.
Yeah.
And spread that love.
So if you'll be watching this tomorrow or today as you watch it, I don't know quite how to describe that, when you watch it repeated on Facebook as a link. So hello on Tuesday to you if you're watching on Facebook. We're getting back in forwards in time here.
This is a pre-recorded
Yeah,
show.
yeah. So yeah, if you watch it on Facebook, if you could share it, that's awesome. Thank you very much.
That's
I
it.
think we've just about got to the end, haven't we? I think we've done everything.
We're not far off.
And we are perfectly in time, boys. You're a
Brilliant.
well-oiled machine.
One more
Well,
thing before we go.
go on.
Instagram.
Instagram accounts. What's your hang on, let me try. I always try and remember everyone's every week. So we're at DocoPod,
That's it. That's me.
at Hughes954, at Jim Buchanan955, and at Marc _ no, at
Just gotta check
Beaumont _ Slugger. Is that right?
I think it is, yeah. I don't even know. I think it's Beaumont _
I've done a lot of tagging you this week.
You're
That's why I
obviously
know.
a big social media guy.
Yeah, it's Beaumont _ Slugger.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's us. Check us out, social media, and then we are at Pin TV UK. And massive thank you to Mark for
Cheers.
Thanks for
joining
having
us-
me.
Thank
joining
you.
us tonight. It's been really good, and we'll see you next week with Katie Curd.
See you guys.
Bye.
Have a good week. Keep it pinned.